All right, back for another beer review, and today I'm going to be reviewing a beer from the Bell's Brewery, and they're out of both Kalamazoo and Comstock, Michigan, and this is their Oberon Ale. So this is an American Pale Wheat Ale, comes in at 5.8% alcohol by volume, and no IBUs listed, but I did a little bit of research on the good old interwebs, and I did find that a few places said mid-20s, but those couldn't be verified, so therefore not available. And at the time of review, this beer is about 6.5 months old, so got a bit of age on it. Now, this is the first beer from Bell's that I'm reviewing on my channel, and I thought I'd start with one of their more popular beers. Their Two Hearted Ale is their flagship beer, but I would argue this is their flagship beer when it comes to the spring and summertime. A lot of people clamor for this beer. It's usually released in late March. They have Oberon Day where they do special midnight tappings. They do variants of the beer. I believe it is year-round in both Florida and Arizona, I believe. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. But yeah, so a lot of people love this. They buy it by the caseload. They take it to the beach, barbecues, poolside, camping, whatever. And I remember seeing I don't want to call it hype, but the love for this beer when they first started distributing in the Western New York area back in either 2013 or 14, I can't remember. It was either 4 or 5 years ago, and just everybody was like, when's Oberon coming? They didn't, I wouldn't say they didn't care about Two Hearted. They were happy Two Hearted was here, like the special double cream stout and everything, but Oberon was the beer people wanted, and it was crazy. People would buy cases of it. It sold out at a couple places. Now you can find it everywhere here, and people don't go as nuts over it, but it's still a very popular beer. So on the can here, it says an American wheat ale with a spicy hop character. Okay, they talk about stuff like that. Yeah, not much more to really say about it other than, you know, full disclosure, I've had this beer numerous times before, but I've always had it fresh. So I kind of wanted to do with age, which is why I'm reviewing it now. And at the end, I'll kind of tell you what I used to think about the beer, what I think about the beer now, and we'll go from there. Anyway, let's pour it into a glass, see what we got going on. Did a little bit of a roll. We'll see what we got though. They say the freshness of this, the shelf life, is about 6 months, so we're a couple weeks past that, but we should be good. Going to use Founders because Michigan unite, right? Maybe. So, yeah, that pours out like a juicy New England style IPA. Oh, okay, it pours out like a Belgian wit more than anything. Yeah, it has this like deep orange color. Yeah, very opaque. It really does have a lot of haze to it, about a finger of an off-white head. But yeah, I mean so nowadays with the New England style IPAs, they basically just look like what Belgian wit beers always looked like forever. I mean, it's crazy that you could give this to somebody blind and they'd be like, oh my God, New England style IPA. No, it's just American wheat beer. That's all it is. Let's get a nose on it. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. Now this is out of the fridge for 2025, a little bit cooler, probably like 50, right around 50. But yeah, there's a bit of that like American wheat malt character to it. Well, I don't know if it's American wheat malt, just like a wheat malt character to it. Little bit of spiciness, like more of a clove than like a coriander. There's definitely an orange lemony citrus zip there. Yeah, more orange than lemon. It's kind of reminiscent of a Belgian wit, but very in the nose. This is gonna sound weird, but like watered down or very subdued. Maybe a touch of like a floral component as well. There's not a lot going on in the nose here. I'm kind of struggling to pull out characters. But really, it kind of follows like a Belgian style wit, maybe with the intensity in the nose cut 30 or 40%. It doesn't smell bad whatsoever. It just, you know, not a lot going on. So let's get into the taste. Cheers. Mouthfeel is really nice. Mouthfeel has that typical like Belgian wit character, New England style IPA character, German hef character, where there's a nice creaminess and smoothness to the mouthfeel. Carbonation is a lower side of moderate. Like there's carbonation there, but just the mouthfeel just kind of supersedes everything. It's just like, you know, it's here and it's like, who cares about the carbonation? The taste though, and this is what I was going to tell you guys about this beer. And you know, I said I had it before numerous times, and I'll tell you what I used to think about, what I think about now. So I know a lot of people love this beer. For me, Never was the biggest fan. I always thought this was a solid beer, and it still is a solid beer. But what it isn't for me is one of those beers where I personally need to buy cases of it or seek it out every year it comes out. For those of you who do love this beer, awesome. Drink it, buy it, have fun with it, because that's what beer about. That's what beer is about. We all have different tastes, as everybody says nowadays. Beer is subjective, like so many other things in life. So if you love this beer, by no means am I shitting on it or saying it's a bad beer or anything. But for me personally, to my palate, it never really has done it for me. That said, it's still a solid beer. There's a nice orange, lemony, spritzy, no, I shouldn't say spritzy, zesty, zippy citrus tone to this one. There is a bit of that clove on the palate. You do get the wheat malt. It's very easy to drink, and this is why so many people buy it. I'm already, tearing this down. I'm gonna have no problem throwing back the rest of that. But for me, this is a sessionable beer that's a bit bigger than I would probably want from a sessionable beer that has decent and nice flavors, but they're just not wowing me. It's not complex. None of the flavors are bold. It's just an easy drinking beer, but that's why people love it, and I get it. So as far as rating goes for this one, I think I gave it a 3.5 or 3.75 back when I first had it in 2013. 14, whenever it first came to Western New York, and I've pretty much ranked it about the same every year, so I'm not going to change it. Haven't had, like I said, in a couple years, but Oberon Ale, Bell's Brewery, gets a solid 3.5 out of 5. Can't really go much higher than that. Can't really go much lower because it is an easy drinking beer. It has nice flavors even though they're subdued. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I get why people love it. Continue to love it if you love this beer. For me personally though, I probably will never buy this beer again unless it's like at a place where it's like one of the few options that is better than, like, say there's a bunch of macros or other craft beers that I don't enjoy. But for me, just a beer I'm probably never going to seek out again. At 3.5 out of 5, it's decent enough, it's solid enough, but just not really for me. But anyway, that was Oberon Ale from the Bell's Brewery, and yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Nothing much to say past that, so I guess we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.